But at the same time, success is really about what drives you, what motivates you, what do you want to pursue so bad. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pamela and today we're going to be talking all about the lessons I've learned as a female founder. What have I learned through my journey as a female entrepreneur, being in this space, my tips, my advice, and more. So let's get started. As you can see, we are in a different location today. I decided to switch it up because I've been in the other area for the past few videos now, but I am very excited to do this video because I have been obsessed with entrepreneurship and the entire business world for so long. Like, I am constantly educating myself, watching interview style podcasts, reading articles, and learning about other entrepreneurs all the time. I just love having an interview on in the background while I'm getting work done, and it is just something that I'm constantly taking in. I just love looking at other entrepreneurs as what can I learn from them, what can I learn from their mistakes, their lessons, their success stories. And there's a podcast that I became obsessed with over quarantine called How I Built This by a guy Raz, and he specifically does interview style podcasts that I love, and this is actually what got me into entrepreneurship and gave me that confidence to want to start. Because when I was younger, I always thought that, okay, being an entrepreneur means that you have to think of an idea that's never been thought of before, you have to think of something that's out of this world, that is groundbreaking, and that cannot be more far from the truth. If you can take an idea or something that people want or need, or you can just think of something that can be refined and put your own twist on it, that already makes you an entrepreneur. I love social media, I love content creation, being creative and editing, and although I did not invent social media apps, I loved it so much that I decided to create my own agency. And because of that, I'm now able to connect content creators with brands, and that really all just stemmed from my love and my passion for social media. So that is just one quick example, but I want to give you guys some of my favorite lessons and things that I have learned over the past few years as an entrepreneur. Number one is success starts with passion, and it is a very long journey. This is a piece of advice that I love because for the longest time, I unfortunately used to define success by how much money you're making, how much money you have, what is your profit, how much is in your bank account, like anything that has to do with money. I truly was like, okay, that person is successful. But in reality, success is not defined by money. Obviously, it's great looking at how much revenue you've made and how much profit you've made. That's super great. But at the same time, success is really about what drives you, what motivates you, what do you want to pursue so bad that it beats everything else out. Like, what keeps you up at night and is that passion that you have to make happen. It's that dream and that goal that you see, that you can like taste it, you can feel it, and it's just in your mind. And for me, that is literally what keeps me up at night, making my business super successful, making it the best that it can be, making Valdez Agency known to everybody. And that's always been a goal of mine. But like I said, when I was younger, I always defined success by money, and that is not true. It really is just all about what motivates you and what drives you. And the reason why I say it's a long journey is because a lot of people like myself, I used to want that overnight success. I used to want that instant gratification, but then I realized that what is the fun in learning things so easily? What is the fun in things happening so fast? And there is this other quote that I also heard before, which was that quick success builds ego. And that is something that you obviously don't want. So when you learn things over time, it makes you even more grateful for when that success finally hits, because you've been through so much, you've learned so much, you've built up resilience and hard work and all of that. Just seeing it come together and finally seeing your dreams and your goals happen, I think is just the best thing ever. And that's why I say it's a long journey, because it's not going to be an overnight success. It's going to take years. And when I first got into business, I never thought I was going to start a media company. I was like, that makes no sense for me. But then as I started building all of these ventures and as I started doing all of these different things, it all snowballed into, why don't I just put it all together into a media company? And that is how it happened. But it truly was years of working hard and trying all these different things, learning from my failures and working smarter after that. Tip number two is you are gonna fail a lot. That is a tip that I wish I would have told myself more as I was getting into business, because I struggled with wanting things to be good from the beginning, wanting things to be right from the beginning. I have a failed business. I was a previous social media manager. I thought that was going to be my end all be all. I started a social media agency back when I was a freshman in college. I ran it for a few months. I had clients. They were paying me a couple $100s a month. And it was great in that moment because I gained so much experience and I learned a lot. But at the same time, I wanted it to succeed so bad, but I knew when it was time to pivot. I knew when it was time to give up on that dream. And and only I knew that it had failed. To other people outside, they may not have seen it as a failure, which I think is a great thing, because a lot of people think that people are watching us so closely and that they're constantly saying, oh, she's gonna fail, and like wishing bad things on us. But in reality, you're the only one that sees those kinds of failures. Everyone else on the outside just sees how successful you are, how great you've gotten, all of these things you've accomplished. That is really what people see on an outside bubble. The best thing with business that I have heard from another entrepreneur who I really, really love, one of my role models, Barbara Corcoran. She is a shark on Shark Tank. She's also an investor. She's a real estate guru. She is someone that I really, really look up to. And Barbara Corcoran said this quote, which was that with business, you don't have to get things right. You just have to get the thing moving. And that really stood out to me, and it really resonates with me, because a lot of people think that with business, there's a guidebook, there's a rule book, there is a way to make things happen correctly. But in reality, it's just about getting something out there. Get it out, get feedback from people, listen to what they're saying, learn from those mistakes, work smarter, not harder, and really just take that and try to upgrade it and level up from that. You have to literally put things out in the world and see how it works, see how people react to it, and then pivot from that. That is one of the best lessons that I've ever learned, and I just love that quote from Barbara. Tip number 3 is things will happen when they're supposed to, and sometimes that means when you're not ready. When I was first launching Valdez Agency, I had relaunched it in September of 2023. And when I tell you guys, I had everything prepared and ready, and I did not land a client until 5 months later, which may not sound like a long time, but when you're in those moments of who is gonna believe in me, who wants to be my first client, who wants to work with me, those 5 months literally feel like eternity, because you're sending hundreds of emails a day, you're reaching out to people, you're getting connected on LinkedIn, and no one is getting back to you. And for all those months, I was like, what am I doing wrong? Until finally, in January of this year of 2024, Pandora reached out after I had reached out to them, and we're like, let's do something together. This sounds great. You know, how is this gonna work? And then here we are a few months later. I can now say that Pandora was one of my first clients, which is so amazing and so cool. And I never would have thought that I would have had that opportunity. But I'm telling you, like, I was ready for 5 months to have something happen, and nothing did. And it was until that moment where it just randomly happened with Pandora that I suddenly like had to be ready. You're gonna feel all these moments of, I want to be acknowledged, I want people to see my work, I want people to see what I'm doing. But it's in those moments that you have to be the strongest, because you are going to have everything line up so soon after that. I'm telling you, like, if I could just tell myself in September, just wait, in the new year you are going to have something happen that is going to be so strong and crazy that you're not even gonna believe it. Like, I really would not have believed it. So that is something that has really helped me build resilience, and it just helps to make you a stronger person, because you know that one day everything is just going to line up for you, and it doesn't matter how or when, but just know that one day it is. Number 4 is done is better than perfect. Don't be afraid to put something out into the world just because it's not perfect. Sometimes the best things are when you just put it out there even when you're not ready. That's why we see so many stories of entrepreneurs and people that literally were not ready to launch whatever it is that they had, but they just did it. They just put it out there and they just saw what the world said. They got that feedback, they let people interact with it, and they see how are people reacting to this, and from that you can learn and you can refine it, you can make it better. If I would have waited for the right moment to launch all of the things that I have, then I honestly wouldn't have known like what route to take next, because I'm someone that, like I said, I like to be a perfectionist. But when you just put something out there in the world and you just take that feedback in, it's gonna make the next improvement so much better, because you already know you put it out there in the world versus waiting and waiting and waiting. Like, imagine keeping something inside or on your computer or just in your head for such a long time and just constantly having that what if feeling. What if I put this out there? What if I did this? Like, I feel like that is so much worse to live with the regret of the what if thoughts rather than just putting it out there. And even if it's a fail, at least you put it out there and you got to see what people thought of it. Tip number 5 is do market research. Having market research and just listening to people, listening to your community, and seeing what they want or what they think of your product and whatever it is. Hearing that, I feel like, is really essential, especially as a founder. And I'll give you guys an example of how I did some unintentional market research, and because of this, it helped me launch my own business. I never thought that I was going to have an agency in which I would connect brands with content creators. Like, I never thought that that would be my business. And as I was going to more influencer events, as I was getting more connected with creators, as I was messaging them and listening to what people were saying, it was the same feedback over and over again. Brands aren't paying me enough. Brands don't believe in me. They don't want to take a chance on me. I'm seeing the same creators on my For You page, on my Instagram all the time, getting the same brand deals, the same partnerships. I'm just seeing the same thing over and over again, and I'm not seeing any opportunities for myself. I don't see people that look like me getting opportunities, and that really broke my heart because I know what it's like to have brands not believe in you, to want something so bad and it's still not happening. And I thought, why not rebrand my agency into an influencer agency where I accept everybody, where I give everybody opportunities, where I give everybody the chance to work with their dream brands and get these really cool things. And it doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter how many followers you have, it doesn't matter. I was like, I want to give everybody the chance to just work with their dream brands and have all of their dreams and goals happen. I want that for people. When I was listening to all those stories, like, it just clicked in my mind. I was like, I want to be able to make something for people, to have that safe spot, that one spot where they can go to and they know that they can have a chance in whatever it is that they want to do. And that's why I provide everything that I do for free. You're looking for a job or an internship? Sign up for my newsletter. You'll get that into your inbox every single day. You want to read fashion articles or interviews with your favorite influencers? Go to my blog. Do you want to listen to advice on how to be the best version of yourself? Go to my podcast. Like, all of these things, I was like, I want to just create a hub of free resources for people. I did that market research unintentionally because I was going to these events, I was getting connected with content creators, and they were all telling me the same thing, which was that they want more opportunities, they want more people that look like them. And as a Latina myself, I'm like, I need to be the person to make that change in this industry, and I want to give everyone the opportunity to do that. So that's why I say doing market research is so important, because if I would have never started hearing all of this feedback from people, I would have never gotten that spark and that idea to want to start an agency and give all of these people really cool opportunities and, of course, free resources. Number 6 is be passionate and be obsessed. Don't be that person that puts in a few hours a day, you clock in, and then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, I did enough work, I'm done. Be obsessed. Think about it 24/7. Use that as your motivator, as literally like a life or death situation. Like, you want to make this happen so bad and you're willing to do anything. Obviously, I've seen people in Shark Tank that literally go on and are like, I sold my house for this, I sold my car for this. I'm not saying do it to that extent, especially when you have things tied to you, like you have kids, you're married. Just when you have a lot of responsibilities, obviously do it in a way that is safe for you and your lifestyle. I don't have any ties, I'm not married, I don't have any kids, I don't have anything that's like holding me back, and I live at home. I don't really have any big ties, I don't have a mortgage, I don't have anything huge that is really weighing me down, which is why I'm like, right now is the best time to do this, because when I get older and I have kids and I get married and I do all of these things, it's gonna be harder to take those risks because you have so much more to lose. And right now I'm kind of in an era where there's not really much to lose and I can try and do as many things as I can. I graduated college and now I'm really just refining and figuring out, what is going to be my thing and how can I get it really big. And it's Valdez Agency. I want it to be really big and I know that it will be. So that's my main goal right now. I literally wake up every single day and I'm constantly educating myself, feeding into what can I learn more? What can I learn more from these entrepreneurs? What can I take from them and their advice, and how can I make it into my own? I was listening to an interview this week with Kendra Scott, who's the founder of Kendra Scott, the jewelry company. I'm not a jewelry founder. Like, I don't really know a lot about jewelry, but hearing her story and her resilience and her motivation, just hearing that interview got me so inspired. I literally went and ordered her book right after because I was like, I can learn so much from this person. And that's the best part about the world that we live in today, is that you can find so many interviews and articles and podcasts and videos online of entrepreneurs and business owners and hear their stories and learn from them. You can buy their books, you can highlight things in it, you can take your favorite lessons and whatever it is. And that's the great thing about the generation we live in today. Everything is on the internet, everything is online, it's for free, and you can go out and just learn. That's what I'm constantly doing. I'm constantly watching Shark Tank episodes, listening to interview style podcasts, reading articles, reading business books, and I'm just like, how can I refine what I'm doing? How can I learn lessons from these people who have already made it, and how can I make it into my own? Number 7 is bet on yourself as if you are your own lottery ticket and show up for yourself when no one will. I love this. This is a quote that I heard from Reese Witherspoon in an interview that she did. And this basically changed also the way that I look at things. When you bet on yourself, you can show up even bigger and better than before. If you ask yourself, like, what can I do that is even bigger, that is even better than all the other things that I've done? You truly do not know what you are capable of, and you can make something so great happen that you probably didn't even know that you could do. Competing with your past self is really great because you already know everything you've done in the past. You already know everything you've previously done. How can you show up even more? How can you constantly elevate yourself and be better than the person that you were yesterday? Even if it's 1%, 2%, whatever it is, constantly show up for yourself, because you are only cheating on yourself when you don't show up. You are the only one that knows when you are showing up for yourself, when you are doing things, when you are working. And that is something that can be good and bad. You know, if you are cheating yourself and you are not working hard every day and you're not working towards your goals, but you're constantly in that mind of I wish, or I have this dream, that's doing more harm than good, because now you're just envisioning and you're not really doing anything. You're not working, and actually putting the hours in is the hardest part. That's where some people actually even stop. Like, they will think, I already have the idea, now someone else has to kind of go and do this for me, or now I just have to wait and see if this will happen. That is probably the worst thing that you can do for yourself. You need to show up and put the hours in, even when you don't want to, even on those days where you don't really feel your best, because those are the days when you push through that you can really show yourself just how strong you are. That is all for today's video. I hope that this was very inspiring and motivating. These are things that have really resonated with me as a female founder, as an entrepreneur, as someone that is constantly trying to just be the best version of myself. Like, I am constantly working every single day to be 1% better than I was the day before. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video.